That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markle.
Proud I am of you, and of all things, it's making me emotional. For them to be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, she has loved us so much.
There isn't a tear in sight. It's an actor's trick. She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled she became a, quote, princess.
Meghan Markle just went full Oscar mode on a podcast, and the internet called BS in about 3 seconds. She appeared on Jamie Kern-Lima's show, and it was supposed to be a raw, vulnerable, heart-to-heart interview, but viewers weren't buying it. Meghan was perfectly styled and perfectly lit, and mid-sentence, she reached up to her cheek like she was wiping away a tear. Only thing is, there was no tear, no mascara smudge, nothing.
Oh my God, oh my God. Oh, it's like, it's so inauthentic.
Cue the internet detectives and the receipts. Remember that old clip of Meghan openly admitting that she can cry on command? Yeah, this one, like...
You'll make yourself cry. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Why would you say that publicly if you plan on making emotional vulnerability your whole brand? Was her publicist on a break from work? Suddenly, that tear swipe on the podcast didn't look emotional anymore. It looked rehearsed. Then Joe Rogan dropped the hammer on his podcast. He laughed at the whole thing and roasted her like it was a bad soap opera scene. And that's not new. He's been calling out Meghan and Harry's Hollywood hustle for a while now, but this time, he wasn't alone.
Right, and it's bullshit. So first of all, she had the hair blown out. It was perfect. I do not believe that she was makeup-free there. She didn't have eye makeup on, which is a different thing.
Megyn Kelly, who's been one of Meghan's most vocal critics, wasted zero time. On her show, she roasted the entire emotional moment, saying it looked more like a rehearsed performance than anything genuine. She pointed out the so-called no makeup look was actually a full face with styled hair and perfect lighting. Her opinion was that Meghan was not crying because she was hurting. She's crying because she knows how to work a camera. But here's the thing, this wasn't just a one-day roast. This interview actually reignited the whole conversation around Meghan's, let's call it her brand, because that's what it's starting to feel like, right? It's not just that people think the crying was fake, it's that it fits a pattern. Everything she does lately feels packaged and scripted, like she's always on, and people are getting tired of it. And of course, that opens the door to everything else, like her continued use of the Duchess of Sussex title even after stepping down from royal duties. Apparently, she still signs autographs and documents with the royal signature, which is kind of like quitting your job and still showing up to company parties with the CEO badge. Technically, she and Harry still hold the titles, but let's be honest, when you spend 3 years bashing the royal family on global platforms, it's a little weird to keep wearing the crown jewelry, metaphorically or otherwise. And this isn't just about one awkward podcast moment, it's part of a bigger pattern. What started as a fairy tale has turned into a full-blown media empire. Let's not forget, the stakes aren't just public opinion anymore. We're talking about podcast deals, brand sponsorships, books, streaming contracts, all riding on a very delicate image of vulnerability and authenticity. So even though she and Harry officially stepped back from the royal family and stopped being working royals, Meghan's out there still signing autographs as Duchess of Sussex. And not just casually, this is part of her branding. It's plastered on merch, her personal stuff, and even in public appearances. It's like she's holding onto that title like it's some kind of golden ticket. The internet, the media, and fans of the royal family have called her out for it, mentioning that it's disrespectful to the institution. And honestly, they aren't wrong. She's basically cashing in on a crown she no longer wears officially. Now, you might wonder why this even matters, but that's exactly the point critics keep hammering. Meghan didn't just marry Harry for love. There's this whole theory that she married him for the status, the spotlight, and the Hollywood connections. Because let's be real, Harry's world of palaces and crowns instantly got her on the VIP list of Hollywood, and she's been capitalizing on that ever since.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
Sound of hearts breaking all around the world.
She's becoming a royal rock star.
Take their Netflix docuseries, for example. It was marketed as a raw, intimate glimpse behind the scenes, but it mostly felt like an extended PR stunt. The carefully scripted moments, dramatic music, and carefully chosen sound bites made it feel less like truth-telling and more like a calculated attempt to win sympathy and stay relevant in Hollywood circles. It made her out to be this heroine fighting the evil royal family. And Harry? Poor guy looks like he's caught between a rock and a hard place. Many see him as a lost prince who has been cut off from his family, echoing Meghan's points about royal life while playing the role of sidekick to a superstar brand. And of course, people didn't miss the chance to throw some shade here. They made some pretty blunt comments about Harry, calling him whipped, basically saying Harry's lost himself in the whole Meghan saga, like he's become a sidekick in a celebrity power couple, rather than the royal rebel we once heard about.
You know, what the family actually wanted. Yeah, I know.
You can say that.
It's a brutal take, but there's some truth in it. The public perception of Harry has shifted a lot. Instead of the young prince trying to break free, now he's often seen as lost, cut off from his family, and almost echoing Meghan's own talking points about feeling isolated and misunderstood. When you put it all together, Meghan's whole public image starts to look less like a person sharing their truth and more like a carefully scripted celebrity brand. The emotional stories, the tearful interviews, the grand statements about activism and healing, all of these feel more like marketing moves than real hard-hitting truths. Real activism is messy, complicated, and often uncomfortable. It's about making a difference even when nobody's watching, and that doesn't feel like what she's doing at all. You know how after the Jamie Kern-Lima meltdown and the whole Duchess of Hollywood saga, you'd think Meghan and Harry might just chill and let the drama simmer. Nah, that's not really their style, because now the whole pity routine is getting hard to ignore. First up, their big charity gig, the Archewell Foundation. This was supposed to be the crown jewel of their post-royal life. You know, a massive platform for activism, giving back, and changing the world. But behind the scenes, word is it's been a mess. There have been rumors of staff turnover, internal disputes, and whispers about how much impact it's actually having.
Without a sip of royalty, Meghan Markle now being blamed for the revolving door of employees at her foundation.
Then there's the Netflix deal. A reported $100 million contract that sounds huge, right? Yet, here we are, with almost no actual content to show for it, besides that docuseries, which felt more like a controlled PR spin than real storytelling. And speaking of PR, their exit from the royal family wasn't just a quiet goodbye. Despite all this talk about wanting privacy, Meghan and Harry have kept the royal family's dirty laundry front and center. There's been an Oprah interview, Netflix specials, podcasts, the whole shebang. They turned what should have been private family struggle zoo into worldwide entertainment. Oh, and Meghan's social media game? It's textbook celebrity influencer. The perfectly staged photos, motivational quotes, and that polished vibe that screams brand. Now, let's talk about the Spotify podcast deal. A $20 million contract that sounded like a jackpot, but in reality, the show's been a flop. Ratings tanked, and Spotify insiders reportedly called Meghan and Harry grifters behind the scenes. The problem is that their podcast is polished and scripted to death. Meghan's glossy victim narrative just didn't land with listeners who want authenticity, not a carefully curated sob story. Then there's the bullying scandal that keeps resurfacing. Remember the allegations from former palace staff accusing Meghan of being a nightmare to work with? Those stories painted a very different picture from the gracious humanitarian she markets herself as. The palace didn't officially comment much, but the whispers were loud, some saying her behavior was toxic, others claiming staff felt pressured and disrespected. Oh, and the family drama hasn't only been from Prince Harry's side. Meghan's relationship with her own dad and half-sister went public in the worst way. They aired grievances, accused her of cutting them off, and portrayed her as cold and calculated. Meghan, of course, denied all this, but the messy family fallout made headlines for months. Real talk, though, the media fatigue is real. At first, people were curious about the royal couple's new life, their struggles, and their activism. But now, people are tired of the victim act and polished PR narratives. Instead, they want authenticity, and Meghan's carefully staged world just isn't cutting it anymore. Polls started showing her favorability dropping, especially with the younger TikTok audience who can smell a brand over realness a mile away.